Oxley, one of 3 Australian navigators in the Volvo Ocean Race for the last 2 stages.
That's right. For some reason we seem to build navigators in Australia. I think it's that our ocean racing is very strong, so Australia and France are sort of the breeding grounds for navigators.
And the race so far, you know, the ocean legs are over, the long ocean legs. From a navigational perspective, what's changed?
You mean moving forward for these legs?
Yeah.
Probably not a lot, because the fleet has been so close anyway, but now the attention shifts to not hitting the bottom. TSS's, lots of shipping, lots of wind farms and things in the English Channel, so less sleep and more stress around land.
And AIS is obviously, you know, boats are sticking together like glue, aren't they?
Yeah, that's only partially due to the AIS. I mean, for instance, in the last leg, we positioned ourselves exactly where we wanted to be in the Gulf Stream, and so did everyone else. But we were basing that on what we wanted to do, and it was the same with the other boats. So that when you've got a fleet with 6 or 7 very good navigators, then they're putting themselves in the same bit of water. Whereas if you're in a Bermuda race or a Hobart race and you've got a fleet of 100, you know, there's a few people that are going to put themselves in the same spot, but the quality of this fleet is so high that independently people are coming up with the same view of where to be. So yes, we're together, but often we're together because it's exactly the right spot to be.
Interesting, Ian Walker made the comment that on the first leg he wondered if anyone was going to slow down, especially to be able to be off AIS to jibe, and by accident he did it in the last leg.
Yeah, look, in leg 2, Matt Frey got ahead of the pack and actually considered slowing down so that they could see everyone on AIS, but didn't, and they ended up going from first to, I think it was 4th in that leg, just as a result of the conditions being so variable that actually what you needed to do was match racing techniques in order to stay in contact with the fleet. And historically, so far in this race, splitting from the fleet hasn't tended to pay very much, apart from the obvious of just coming in on the last part of this leg that we've just finished.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision about going around that last zone, just coming in.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
We firmly decided we were going to the north, and we were pleased to see the first 3 boats go to the south. The high-res modelling and the work that we'd done, particularly last time with Camper, on the fine-scale meteorological effects around Cascais at that time of the morning. We were pretty strong that being up on that northern, what we would call a northern shore, was going to be favourable, and we thought that the lead boats looked like Brunel would get in, but we thought Matt Frey and Dongfeng would both get caught. Dongfeng got caught, Matt Frey just slipped away, but so we were pretty pleased to be given that opportunity to get back into the race.
Yeah, that was one of the sort of highlights really, from a navigational point of view, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it just does remind everyone that it ain't over till the finish.
Yes, and these coastal legs, that's going to be quite complex, isn't it?
Yeah, well, very strong tides, particularly as we get up around France and the English Channel, and so a really good handle on the tides, and the water's still pretty cold and the land's heating up because it's sort of spring, and so the potential for the sea breezes to be stronger than forecast, and so the meteorological models typically have a hard time handling that, and so you have to bring your own meteorological understanding of the situation in to decide how to position yourself depending on the time of day.
And land breezes at night?
Yes, that's right. The potential for. We've got there's 2 options in the course, but we don't sail direct to Lorient. We have to go in around La Trinité and around some of those Belle-Île and Ile de Groix, excusing my French pronunciation, but it's sort of home to the Dongfeng guys, so they'll be right on top of it.
Yeah, so the question will be, why aren't you where they are?
Yeah, well, we've got a very strong French-Belgian weather team, that locals from that part of the world, so we don't feel too far behind in terms of an understanding of the situation.
Yeah, and so the race, you've done how many now?
Well, this is my 4th involvement with the Volvo, 5th around the world race, so yeah, a few.
Yeah, and the onboard equipment, the tools, it just keeps changing?
It's evolution rather than revolution, and just refinements to the navigation software. We've probably had 15 version upgrades during the leg with Expedition, for instance, and a little less, but with Adrena a number. And then the sailing performance software, which we use to do all the performance analysis, is a very, very good package that the refinements in that are allowing us to refine our polars and decide what our crossovers should be, and where should we have the ballast, and where should the stack position be when we're moving the weight around the boat. So come next race, the information that we've collected this race will be extremely valuable to teams that are new to the race and looking to start off fresh.
Yeah, and how much knowledge sharing is going on these days?
In terms of where that goes on, zero. It remains to be seen after the race. But in terms of the systems and operating the systems, there's quite a bit of sharing. You saw me earlier talking to Tom Addis. I mean, these guys are just back into the race, and so there's a few little gremlins sometimes in the system, and so I'm quite happy to tell him, well, if this happens, then this is what you can do. But that's more about safety and equipment rather than fine scale tactics, so that I separate those two quite, they're quite different things.
Yeah. And grandpa with the young fellas?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't. It's really not. The only difference really is in experience, in terms of how it feels, and that gap is rapidly narrowing as we get towards the end of the race, and these guys have developed to a very high level.
Yes, and overall, it's going to be hard to get past Abu Dhabi, isn't it?
Look, the pressure mounts for the boat in front, and this race has a habit of turning things on its ear. I mean, we left Lorient on camper in 4th place in the race, and we came 2nd in that race. And apart from ourselves, I don't think there was anyone that thought that was going to happen. So there's a lot of challenges. A lot of things can go wrong in these last 2 legs. So I think it's still pretty open.
Yes, it's certainly. We've discovered that Ian puts his pants on one leg at a time in this last leg. That could have been also different for Dongfeng, couldn't it?
Yes, and that just goes to show how close it is. And I don't know that Ian will have many friends on the racetrack because of the positions in the fleet. And we'll see how it goes.
Interesting times ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
That's good. Is there anything else?